Hey guys, welcome to my video today. This is the first cooking video that I've filmed, so bear with me. Hopefully you guys like it. Coming up is going to be a few things, some of our favorites like yum bowls, which are amazing, chicken Caesar pitas, which I copied from a restaurant that I loved that closed in 2020, and I tried to recreate it. And a few other things, just like super simple family meals. I show a couple of them how much my kids actually eat of it, and they really enjoy all of the things that I'm showing you guys. So I have 5 family friendly weekday type of meals, and I'll try to give you guys some other I don't know, hints and or tips and tricks along the way of ways that I make it easier. I also have a really easy bread loaf recipe. I do sourdough, but in the video I just included not traditional because sourdough is traditional, but active yeast recipe. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy, and let's get into it. First up, I've got something that I'm sure you have all made before, which is burgers. I love that seasoning. It's one of my favorites. I use it on a lot of different things. But how I've made this easier on myself is by buying pre-made patties. I usually try to get some pretty decent ground beef, but just buying it pre-made has saved me a lot of time, and it's $10 for 10 patties. I give my husband a double, and then we each have one, and it works out really well. The kids were peeling the corn, which they love, and they love having a part in making it, and then I just use some bacon from our breakfast to add on top. Since burgers are something I figured you guys have all made a lot, I made that clip super fast for you. And now we're making some green enchiladas. That's pork that I had on the Traeger 2 days ago. We just did pulled pork, and so I saved some of it to make enchiladas with. And the sauce that I use is really easy. I just use a jar of green sauce and then add in a little bit of cream cheese and sour cream. Mix it all together, and then use some mozzarella cheese on top. I'm gonna make nachos this time too with jalapenos. The kids loved it. I'll show you in a sec because they devoured it. Their entire plates. Even Rowan loved it. I wanna be strong, strong, strong. We're doing wrong, 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 but I'll fix it, fix it. Love, love, love. I wanna be strong, strong, strong. We're doing wrong, 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 but we'll change it. And here I've got the bread recipe that I was talking about. You start out with, I didn't measure, but a tablespoon each of active yeast, sugar, and salt. You let that sit for a minute until you see it really bubbling. If you start adding flour before it's bubbling, it's not going to rise. Your bread's not going to work out. So you just want to really give it good time with, 2 cups of warm water also. Okay, and then once it is bubbling, you add in, the recipe says between 5 to 6 cups, and I do find that about 5.5 cups works perfectly for me. And I'll show you in a sec that you really want to mix it. It'll look like it's not enough flour, but if you just let it keep mixing, as soon as it pulls away from the bowl, that's when you've got plenty. If you can't get it to pull away after a couple minutes, add just a little bit more, like a tablespoon at a time, until you really get it to pull away from the bowl. You just oil the bowl and let it sit at least an hour, but until it's about doubled in size. And so for dinner tonight, I was making just a potato and broccoli soup. Sometimes I add zucchini in also, but I did order pickup and they were apparently out of zucchini, so I didn't have it for it, but it still works out great. So I just chop up the potatoes, and then I'll get some garlic cooking with some olive oil in the pan. And this can really cook as long as you want. I did it during my daughter's nap, kind of in the middle of the day, so I just set it on a very low heat so that the potatoes didn't overcook. You could also cook this in less than an hour if that works for your schedule. Just put it on a higher heat and have it on a pretty decent boil. So yeah, I'm just gonna chop these up, throw them in, and then kind of let them fry up a little bit before I add in a whole thing of broth. And I also use the Trader Joe's, I think it's called 21 seasoning. I'll show it to you in the video too. But I love that. That's basically the only thing I use in there, and some bay leaves.
Sorry, I'm so shallow, but I'm still looking forward to watching part 2 of Deathly Hallows with you.
And like I said, just a low heat for a few hours. And now my daughter is up playing with the flour and the dough has about doubled in size. It's been at least an hour, probably a couple. And I'm gonna take it out and split it into 2 loaves, since the recipe does make 2. I'm not the best at making loaves yet, but it works out. And so once I get it cut up, you do bake it at 400 degrees for 40 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. Once it's like a pretty toasty brown is when it'll be done. And you do want to make sure and let it sit for a while. So I'll kind of show you the timing in a little bit. You want to pull it out of the oven when there's still some time left in your soup, because you want it to sit so it can continue cooking on the inside once it comes out.
I think it's odd how we always wait another day, how we watch things that kids walk away. Let's live down by the water, watch it come and go home. I wish we were bold to like sail away. I just don't wanna care. Can you be here and I'm good alone? I'll be okay with you like an old friend. Too scared now, thinking I should call up on
And then you're just gonna add in the broccoli, probably about 20 minutes, 10 minutes or so before the bread comes out, so that it has enough time to cook, because remember, you do want to let your bread sit for at least 15 minutes or so too. Last part is just adding in some cream, and I usually use freshly grated Parmesan, but my store had shredded cheese on sale for like $1 for 16 ounce or maybe 8 ounce bags, so I'm just using that, but fresh Parmesan is much better. And yeah, just cream and everything to taste, and then I add salt, and then I add pepper to my husband and I's bowls, just because the boys think it's a little bit spicy. And yeah, then just cutting up the bread and top it with a little bit of sour cream and cheese, and it's ready to serve. All right, 2 more meals, guys. So this one is Yum Bowls. This is one of my go-tos. I make it almost every week, and it's one of my favorite like no meat options. So that's a yum sauce, and it kind of shows you on the label like how it's arranged. If you forget what goes in the bowl, it's in the picture. And in case you guys are interested in the ingredients. So this dinner takes as much time to make as it does to cook the rice, if that makes sense. So you just get everything done while the rice is cooking. So it's super fast, healthy, easy. Rice is cooking, so I'm just gonna cut up these tomatoes from our garden that my 6-year-old went out and picked. And the cheese is already shredded. I don't have to do that. And I just cut up the avocado and then basically assemble the bowls. Like I said, super healthy. The yum sauce has good, I think it's mostly almonds, so it has really good nut fat in it. I will try and link the sauce below. I believe you can order it, even though it's a West Coast thing. I think you can order it wherever and they'll ship it to you.
You and me just know how it feels when we're falling in love. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now.
And you can see the rest of the second bread loaf sitting there. We did have some of it with dinner, but we also had some of it with lunch. So it works out really well to have that 2-loaf recipe, because you can have one with dinner that night and the next night, or for lunch. And so the other stuff that goes in it are olives, and I think they use kidney beans, red beans, at Cafe Yum. It is a restaurant if you're not familiar with it. But I like it with black beans. I like the texture better, but you can do either one. And then my husband also likes to make wraps with them. So you just, instead of putting it in a bowl, you just put everything into the wrap. But he did have a bowl tonight, so you won't be able to see that.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Turn this room, turn it to an ocean. Let me float around. Eyes closed, like we're dreaming even when we're not. You and me got a whole other meaning, I don't know how. You and me just know how it feels when we're falling in love. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. We can do nothing at all.
And the last meal that I'm showing you guys today is the chicken Caesar pitas. So honestly, what I usually do is use the leftover chicken. So originally this day I was going to make chicken curry and not film it for you guys, because that's not really like a simple, easy dish, and then use the leftover chicken to make these. But it just, curry didn't sound good, so I just skipped ahead and made the pitas that night. Anyway, super easy, especially with leftover chicken. But if you don't have leftover, you just grill the chicken till it's done. I had really thick chicken, so I actually took it out about halfway, cut it up, and then put it back in. And I think I used the 21 seasoning on that as well. But what I love is Trader Joe's Green Goddess on there. It goes really well with these. Anyway, sorting out the plates, just some simple sides, kind of whatever you have on hand goes really well with these. Putting the chicken in, and the most important part is the specific Caesar dressing I get. It's an Asiago Caesar dressing, and it's delicious. It makes the whole meal. So I put that on, and you want to get that same one if you're trying to copy this. Usually I put a ton of like fresh grated Parmesan cheese, but like I said, I didn't get it because the other cheese was on sale, but it actually worked out really well with the other cheese too. And then more garden tomatoes and then romaine. I like to chop it up really small. So what I did for my boys was I put it like on the side of their plate and gave it to them as an option. And usually one of my boys likes it, the other one doesn't, but they actually both were like, oh, fun, because they got to make it themselves. So I recommend doing that because they both had it and then they asked for more lettuce after they ate all of that too. So yeah, this was super yummy and I highly recommend, especially these last 2 meals. So quick, easy, and super yummy. Okay guys, hopefully you liked all of those recipes. If you have any questions, let me know. I will try to put in the recipes, but I mean in the description, but for the most part it's pretty like self-explanatory. I'll put in the bread recipe for sure because that's a little bit more specific, but I'll try to link the yum sauce too, because like I said, I'm pretty sure that you guys can order it online. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see more cooking videos from me or if I should just stick to homeschool. I also am thinking of doing like some home decor and organization type videos because I just really enjoy that stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. Make sure to subscribe.